Hey, welcome to another Girl of the Day 2023 Summit episode. Today we have a truly inspiring guest joining us, Jane Svorec. Welcome, Jane. I'm so excited to have you in our episode. I read your book, it's so inspiring. Um, Jane is an author of Broken Little Believer. She's a mom, a wife, a volunteer in many areas in her community. So, Jane, welcome. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself and about your amazing book and the awards the book has gotten? So,
Sure.
go ahead.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here, especially in honor of International Girl Day. I think it's such a tremendous and amazing day to celebrate. And so this is really special for me, and I appreciate you inviting me. So as you said, my name is Shane Svorec, and I am an author. I've written 2 books so far, and I have a few more books that are on the back burner right now. So I'm excited that I'll be sharing that soon. But the first book, Broken Little Believer, really took off. And I think it took off for a lot of reasons because it is an empowering book. It's a book that most people can relate to because we've all had trouble or challenges or struggles in our lives. And the book is all about how do we rise from challenges and obstacles in our everyday life, and how do we use our pain or our experiences or the things that we've been through for a purpose? How do we use those experiences to better ourselves and to better our world? So that book has won. I'm blessed to say it's won multiple awards, and it was chosen as a finalist for Best Nonfiction Book in the inspirational category. And it's won a few other awards, a gold winner for nonfiction. It won a gold award for the Book Fest, and there's a couple of others. But I'm truly humbled and blessed whenever someone reads it and they reach out to me and they say, your book touched me, or your book inspired me, or you made me believe that I wasn't alone, or in your book, I felt that you understood me. And that's why I wrote the book. It wasn't for the awards. It wasn't for the recognition. It was so that I could connect with other people, and other people could be in touch with humanity again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel the same way when I read the book. It's so touching, and it gives you hope that there is always hope, right? It inspires you despite the challenges to see that there is a way out. You could go for your dreams and your goals despite where you are right now. That's not where you're going to be in the future.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yes.
What challenges did you face along the way while you're writing this book, and how did you overcome them?
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges was not only believing in myself and believing that I could do it, but in my mind, one of the biggest challenges was, when people say, oh, you're writing a book, it almost sounds like something as a hobby. It sounds like, oh, you're writing a book, like, good luck. And it doesn't really feel, in today's day and age, like it's a real possibility, like you could do something with writing. And so I've been writing ever since I was a little girl. And I would travel, and I've lived all over the country. And so I've always been writing as a hobby. And I guess I listened to the world for a while, not entirely, but I think the general consensus, at least when I was younger, was like writing was just a hobby. You could never make a living out of it. That could never be your career. And so that's what I did. I just wrote all the time. And so when I was working full time and I was traveling for work, I would be writing on planes. I'd be writing on a train. I would be writing all the time. And there were some reasons why I felt like this book needed to be published when it was published. The world was in a very strange place.
Yes.
COVID was happening. There was a lot of unrest. There was a lot of confusion. There was a lot of uncertainty in the world, and there was a lot of change. And I felt as though this book, the timing of it was perfect. And I felt, regardless of whether people took me seriously or not, I felt the timing of this book was perfect to remind people of the power of perspective and the power of gratitude and the power of taking a step back and, I guess, looking at the world and seeing how can you help it instead of hurting it? How can we add positive energy and positive solutions and light in dark times? So,
Yes.
so yeah, there were a lot of challenges throughout my life writing thinking about writing. But I think as I got older, the challenge was telling myself that no, I can write, and it doesn't have to be a hobby. It could be something that I do full time. First, it was something that I did just on the side. But as I gained confidence in myself, gained confidence in my abilities, and started to see that this was filling a need, then I began to see that those challenges were all things that I should have ignored, and I should have pursued it sooner. But I also believe that everything happens for a reason, and it arrived just on time. But I think the one thing that I do want to point out is that as girls and as women, I think it's just instinctive that we tend to be caretakers, and we tend to be
Mm,
multitaskers, and we tend to be we want to please people, and we want to do the right thing, and we tend to be rule followers. And I know that that's a general statement, because
yeah.
there are men and boys who are the same, but predominantly there's a lot of girls that we're just the expected role is that we're caretakers. And so I tended to put my needs and my wishes and my passions and my goals on the back burner
Yeah.
because I was busy. I had every reason not to write this book. I was busy with the kids. I was busy with volunteering. I was busy with work. The book and my writing kind of took a back seat. And I realized that when I fulfill my own passion and when I am doing something that makes a difference, then that makes me a better mother. It makes me a better wife. It makes me a better friend, and it makes me a better employee. So I guess I think that this is a perfect time to remind young girls and women not to put your needs on the back burner and to not put yourself second, that it's important to make yourself a priority, and it's important to chase your dreams. We don't need permission to pursue our passion. We only need opportunities and a belief to do it.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So beautiful. You're going to give me tears. Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
beautiful. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. We as girls, and as we grow into womanhood and motherhood and all that, we need to learn. We have to put our oxygen mask first before we can
Yes.
help everybody else. Because if we are empty, we can't help anybody, right? So I 100% agree with you. Um, so are there any particular messages or themes in your book that you would like the young reader to uncover or embrace? I know you covered some of that in the prior questions, but maybe specific ones that you feel are strong messages you want to share.
Yes. Yeah, and thank you for asking that. I think, it starts with the title. So the title of the book is called Broken Little Believer. And I think some people might look at that and think, oh, broken, like it's a negative. But sometimes it's in our breaking that we reassemble ourselves and we become stronger and we become wiser. But it's also kind of an invitation that we don't have to be perfect. And it's not only an invitation to those people who maybe it's a broken home, maybe it's a broken family, maybe it's broken dreams or broken wishes or broken promises, whatever it may be. Those things that are broken do not define us if we continue to believe. So it's all in how we choose to take the brokenness, and whatever it is that's broken in our family or broken in our lives or broken in the world. It's how we choose to believe and how we choose to move forward. So the messages and a lot of the theme within the book is about how not to use our circumstances or our background or our past or bad things that have happened to us as reasons to be a victim. We can use these things to become victorious. We do not have to be a victim. So there are a lot of relevant and relatable experiences and stories in the book, from being bullied as a girl, not fitting in. I didn't have the easiest childhood, so I can look back and I can be so grateful for the life that I have lived to this day, because if it were not for the way that I grew up, I would not be able to relate to other people the way that I do. And I think that my experiences, some painful, some pretty, some, but they all had a purpose. I think that those things combined, and being then able to write and encourage and empower and inspire young girls, shows them that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how much money your family has. It doesn't matter if your parents are divorced. It doesn't matter if you were made fun of when you were younger for the clothes that you wore, or whatever it may be, that you have endless opportunities and possibilities as long as you believe in yourself and you believe in your dream and you chase what it is that you love. And so throughout the book, I think that that's a constant theme, that bad things happen to good people, and we don't choose the circumstances or the situations that we find ourselves in sometimes. So I like to be a cheerleader for the underdog. I like to be, the woman that helps a young girl rise and helps her see her own possibility, to give her a glimpse of what's possible, no matter what she's been through.
That's right. That's right. I think allowing youth to have a vision, a positive vision for the future, I mean, there are so many studies now that what you visualize will come true,
Yes.
proven today that we can achieve what we think or what we visualize or envision. That's probably a better word,
Yes.
This circumstance. So I agree. Thank you.
Yes.
So in honor of the Day of the Girl celebration, what advice would you give to young girls who aspire to become authors or pursue their passion of writing? Like you mentioned, writing is seen as a hobby. Even now we know better. Love for your hobby can become a career if you have the passion for it. So
yes. Yeah. Well, I would say to anyone who is aspiring to be an author to never, ever, ever give up. And everyone has a story to tell, everyone. So regardless of what you may want to write, whether it's nonfiction, fiction, a thriller, you name it, everyone has a story to tell and a story to write. So if that's what you're passionate about, do not ever give up. There are so many opportunities and avenues today to be a published author. And I would just say that it is a very empowering experience to be able to prove people wrong. So if you use that as a motivation, if you've ever been told, and I speak to all young girls and to women, if you've ever been told that you can't do something, the most empowering experience is to be able to prove them wrong. So if you want to be a writer, do it. and just keep doing it over and over and over again. Because just as you said, the more experience we have, the more practice we have, the more confidence that we build in ourselves, the more we believe in ourselves, and the more we unapologetically chase our dreams. And that's exactly what I would say to all young girls. And I would add, because I'm very proud, is that when you talk about breaking barriers and looking today at 2023 and the things that young girls are able to achieve. I have 2 girls and a boy. We also have rescue animals and chickens, but my 2 girls, one of my daughters, she's my oldest, she's in the Navy, and my middle daughter wants to be an engineer. So these are 2 things that once upon a time would be unheard of.
That's
so
right.
It goes to show that, really anything is possible, and having confidence in yourself is one of the first ways to travel that path of success. And the second thing that I would say, and I don't think that we talk about this enough, is that social media and just the media in general, I think, has portrayed this image of perfection. You have to come from the perfect background. You have to have X amount of money. You have to be popular. You have to be a certain size. You have to look a certain way in order to achieve success. And that is not true. I think that we as women need to express and share more with our younger generations that perfection, there is no such thing as perfection. And the sooner we embrace ourselves, our uniqueness, and that we're genuine and honest with ourselves and others, the better we will be. And we should not be competing with one another. Girls need to help girls. We need to be friends and help one another instead of being in competition with one another.
That's right. I 100% agree. Cooperation is the name of the game now. No more competition. I feel like we all have a place in this world. There is a reason why we're here. So
Yes.
we're all unique. So there is no competition because there is not 2 of you or 2 of me. We're all different with different gifts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I have my last question for today. What are your hopes for the future in terms of empowering girls and promoting gender equality through literature?
I think that one of my goals is just to continue with my writing, because as a writer, I'm a natural observationist. So I am constantly, it's just what I do. A lot of people say that they're people watchers. You go to the airport and people say, oh, I love watching people. I'm a people watcher. I've been watching the world and watching encounters and interactions with people for a very long time, since I was a little girl, because of how I grew up traveling on the road. I was just born a natural observer. And so I feel that through my writing, being able to give people a different perspective, and allow other people to take a step back, because sometimes we get into the habit of viewing things the way we view them, and we forget that there are other ways to see things. I think that one of my biggest goals is is just to continue writing in a way that allows everyone and invites everyone to be part of the journey. But as you're part of the journey, you are learning and being exposed and opening your minds and your eyes and your hearts to the differences that we all have, and showing respect for each other's differences, and being kind, and most importantly, showing empathy. That we all may come together right now and today, like we're here together, but how we got here was very, very different.
That's
And
right.
I think it's important that when we come together, that we understand that we've all traveled different roads, but we're now together, and we need to practice empathy and show kindness to one another.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So beautiful. So
Thank
beautiful, Jane.
Thank
Jane, I'm
you.
sorry.
That's
Um,
okay.
So where can people reach you? How can they reach you? Where can they buy your book? You know, this is such a wonderful message you're sharing through your book and empowering youth, girls or boys,
Yes, yes.
um, we all go through difficult times. So please share that, and then people can go and get your book and reach out to you and so on.
All right, thank you. So you can reach me at, I have a website. It's www.shanesvorec.com. I'm on all social media platforms. So Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and TikTok and you name it, on all of that. And yeah, I'm very, I love to communicate with people. I love to hear stories of how my book might have changed them, or just to connect with people, to know, that they're not alone, and to show people that there's goodness in this world, and we really just need to look for it. We need to look for the goodness. So yeah, you can buy my book on Amazon, barnesandnoble.com, target.com, Barnes and Noble. Some stores carry it in person or in the stores, but it's all over, carried by all major retailers, definitely online, some in stores. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, everybody go get Shane's book. It's wonderful. I read it, very inspiring. So I'm so privileged to have had this conversation with you, and I learned so much and got inspired for myself. So I'm hoping all the viewers get the same feeling from this conversation. Thank you.
You're welcome. It was my honor and pleasure and privilege, and I really had a great time chatting with you today, and I appreciate the invitation. And to all of those who are watching, especially our young girls, just know that you are very special and talented and have endless possibilities. Just don't stop believing, chase your dreams, and find your passion.
That's so beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.